This is how I didn't pay rent for 8 years. Now, I know what's going on in the economy right now. Some of you may be worried, or you may have just started investing in real estate or some other business, and you may not have money to get started. So not paying rent would actually save you a lot of money, so you could use that money to start getting invested. So here's what I did. I first applied for this program called NACA. NACA. And NACA is a program that gives you a home for free. Yup, for free. 100%. Now, I know that nothing good comes for free, but I'm telling you, trust me on this. It's a free home. And there's no down payment. That's the first thing that's free. No closing cost. So that means you don't have to go to the closing table with money. It's all free. And guess what? The best part is, even with super high interest rates in the market right now, you will still get a super low interest rate. Yup, even in this market. They are promised that you will have some of the cheapest rates in history. I'm telling you, this does exist. Now, to get started with NACA, you go to their website and you register for one of their workshops. In this workshop, they will break down all the fine details of the program. Of course, they're going to have testimonials, of which I am one of them. And then they will break down every little piece of how it works. They'll talk about the payment process. They'll talk about the qualification process. Let's talk about the qualification process. I know some of you may be there like, oh man, this is too good to be true. I may not qualify for this, but just stay with me. You can. It doesn't matter what your credit score is. You could have a super low credit score. That's not the important thing as to what they look for. They actually look for good credit behavior. So for example, I had things on my credit where my credit was not the greatest. And what they ask for, let's say if you had a late payment, they're going to ask for a letter of explanation asking, hey, why were you late on this day and doing this thing? And once you could provide them with proof or a good letter of explanation as to why you were late or whatever issue you may have, they will then qualify it to see if they could trust you. This is one of the good things and the bad things, because now you gotta go back in time and see so that they could qualify you. However, guys, I must pre-warn you that they will ask you a lot of questions. And it's okay because you're getting a free house. And so I've had friends who dropped out of this program simply because they thought that NACA was asking them for too much information. Okay, I lived in New York City at the time. Now, could you guess how much for a property in New York City? Do you think coming up with $100,000 or more is a good fee to pay? Well, you choose. Would you rather come up with $100,000 for a down payment? Or would you rather provide papers when they ask you? I think you would choose papers. And so I think some people, when they go into NACA, they have the wrong mindset in approaching getting a free house. Let me say it again. It's a free house. Now let's continue on. They look at your credit behavior. You provide these letters of explanation explaining why you were late or why you may have this ding on your credit. It's a very small price to pay. So this gets you in the door with NACA. Now, here's another thing. When you're trying to buy a house, especially with NACA, you cannot go buying fancy cars. Now is not the time to buy expensive gifts. Now is not the time to go on vacations. Guys, what they check, they want to make sure that you could actually make these payments on time. So it'll be very important for you to not live a lifestyle that puts you in a bind that shows that you may not be able to afford a property. So Christmas this year may look a little different, or even your birthday or Thanksgiving, and it's only for a super short period of time. So limit your spending process when you're going through this process with NACA. So in closing, NACA is an amazing program for you and your family to get a free house so that you could start investing using that money that you would have typically spent on rent. But now you could use that money to save and start investing in yourself, start investing in different programs, start investing so that you could get the cash flow and the money that you really want. It gives you the ability to start doing things that you really dream of.